And I'm gonna so today we have one more person joining, so she will join a bit later. So today is all about etiquette and how different countries use etiquette. So how people say please and thank you, how people are polite and how people are impolite as well. So I'll share with you today's slideshow. So, welcome to the meeting today. So, I'm Rachel. For those of you who don't know, I'm an English tutor and I lived in Russia for 4 years. And I met Dennis in Russia. So, Dennis is a friend of mine too. And recently I moved back to the UK. So, now I'm only teaching online, but that's me. So, okay. Today's chat is all about being rude or impolite. So don't worry about making mistakes with your grammar today. Today is just about speaking freely. And in a second, I will close my mouth and I will try to talk as least as possible so you guys can all speak as much as possible. So, one by one, I would like you to tell me about a time when someone thought you were being rude or impolite, even though you weren't doing it on purpose. So maybe Varia, we'll start with you. Can you tell me about maybe a situation when this happened to you?
I know that I'm not entirely polite when I speak English, and with with the native speakers, I think, because I'm often I'm mm, too direct. I don't know, and I just speak what I want, what I do, what I'm doing, I'm going to do, without this polite constructions like would you like to pass me this salt, please? And all this thing. Yes, can you? Yeah, this is my way, and I need to remind myself how to do it correctly.
Yeah, but it's not easy. It's quite tricky to remember. Yeah. Because as I understand, speaking Russian, it's very direct. It's quite straightforward, right?
Yeah, because it's just, the purpose of communication is uh to reach some goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But why do we need all these, these decorations?
Yes, yeah, yeah. It's very difficult. Have you ever offended somebody by accident without saying please or thank you, for example?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
No? Oh,
Nobody hurts me about after this
okay.
communication.
Um, okay, so I think for you it's no issue, it's no problem. Yeah, it's good. Oksana, how about you? Have you ever been in a situation where you accidentally offended somebody by being impolite?
Oh yeah. Once I used to work in an architecture bureau.
Hmm.
We used to work with our British colleagues,
Oh, okay.
and once I sent them just working letter with some information, and my other colleague told me that it was really impolite because it was pure information, strictly only on the subject without any other things like how you doing and with regards and so on. And
Okay.
it was the first time when I learned that written communication in English would be very different.
Yeah. How did you feel, Oksana? I think maybe you felt maybe angry or annoyed or maybe shocked.
I was surprised
Yeah.
because I just put all my thoughts in the letter and it's really clear what should be about all the things which we should do together and so on.
Yes, yeah. I started working in Russia and when my boss started messaging me about things I needed to do, I was really shocked. I thought he was angry at me and I said, "I'm sorry, did I make a mistake? Like, what did I do wrong?" He said, "No, what's wrong with you?"
Actually, written communication, even in Russian, sometimes sounds more angry when you read it than people talk to you.
Okay.
So maybe it's in Russian too.
Yeah, miscommunication maybe. Yeah.
But you can add some emoji, so just
Yeah.
to make it like easier, like
Just
yeah.
do this task and then hearts.
And
Yeah.
then yeah.
Is it normal in Russian to use emojis? Maybe Alex Art, maybe you can answer the question. Is it normal to use emojis when you're texting? Oh, Alexei, your microphone.
Yes, I'm not. Я не смогу ответить на вопрос.
You don't understand the question?
No, I'm understand, but мой разговорный английский, ну, очень плохой.
No, it's okay. You can try. I understand what you're trying to say. You just say it slowly. It's no problem. So, do you...
В данном вопросе, то есть, слышал ли я какую-то грубую речь или невежливое, да, что-то?
Can you try and speak in English a little bit? Because I can understand some Russian, but I'm not amazing at Russian.
But maybe Oksana help me.
Sure, yeah.
Oksana, do you speak Russia?
Yeah.
Да. Well, actually, my sister speaks English very badly.
О, да.
But you just should try. Use your arms, like playing this game, like,
Да,
you know.
тоже, потому что тоже я плохо говорю на русском. Так, если я могу сделать...
No, very good.
No.
Yeah, that's right. It's good.
If I can
Just start. Your brain will get used to this. Just start it really slowly and badly and with different words.
Yeah, просто чуть-чуть говорить, я все понимаю.
Okay. But
No, Alex, the question was simple because the question was about emoji, like smiley. If we use emoji in our chats or emails or maybe work communication.
Yeah.
If it's okay for Russians or not.
no, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe okay.
Okay, all right. Dennis, how about you? Do you
Yes,
have
I think I have a very illustrative example of how the perception of speech from the representative of our country could lead to some miscommunication. Some years ago, I've started to work in international IT company in its Russian subsidiary, and we had the client in UK, and headquarters was in London. So, and my my task was to somehow improve the processes which were applied in the project, and I made a conference call to my partners in UK, and I started just to explain what should they do. First, you should do this, then second step, third step, and so on. So they were a bit surprised, I suppose, because they got used to some other way of communication when there is a lot of discussions, conversations, and so on. So when I came to business trip and started to communicate with our partners, with our colleagues from UK side, I saw the following picture. It was a hall in the office, and 20 managers were sitting around the table, and every person should somehow articulate his or her opinion on the discussed topic, and only if everyone agree with that, so the decision could be adopted. In Russia, it's a very, how to say, it's a very excessive way of making decisions because we need sometimes we have a very short amount of time to make a decision, and someone just take responsibility for that decision, and others start to just to implement it. As far as I understood, in just in UK traditions, there is how to say, such maybe traditions of parliamentarism, even in corporative level. And when some changes related to working processes are discussed, they should be adopted by everyone. Some of my colleagues, London colleagues, told me that they are sometimes also annoyed by this tradition because it takes a lot of time to make maybe even some small decision, but that's just a tradition, and we should we should to take it into account. So after that, I've corrected my approach of maybe demonstrating some ideas. So I try to involve my colleagues into discussion, and the decision that could be made after that should be considered as not only my decision, but decision of everybody. So yes, decision of everyone. So that's the sample that how just maybe the mentality of some nation in working processes could contradict with traditions of other nation in the same area of business.
And we have this phrase for everybody. So English people, we beat around the bush. We beat around the bushes. It means that it takes a long time to explain anything. So that's a good phrase that you guys could use. So yeah. Alex K, how about you? Have you ever been in a situation where you offended somebody accidentally?
Is it a question to me?
Alex, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Hello to everybody again. I suppose I had such situations lots of times. But actually, I don't know. People don't say to me that I was rude to them. So that's why this question is pretty hard for me. This rare case when people could show me that I wasn't care with them.
Do you find it difficult to speak in English and make lots of please and thank you? Do you find it hard work? Because it's not standard in Russian language, I believe.
Actually, I like this shit with all such words. So I always like English movies, films in English. Yes. And all these politeness themes. Yes. I like it pretty much. I like English movies because of it also, and English literature also.
Nice. I think you're one of the very few people, because lots of my students find it very hard to say, could you please, may I ask? It's quite long for some people. So, okay. So the next one is about the differences between what you should do and what you shouldn't do when you are communicating in British English and in Russian. So is it okay in Russian, for example, to be direct when you're giving feedback? Probably yes. What do you think? So let's have a start. Varia, what do you think is a do in Russia and what is a don't? What could you say? For example, you should say please if you're asking for somebody to help you.
Yeah, I think that we use please. We use thank you, of course.
We'll say please.
Yeah, and we also use this my God, these constructions with
with
conditional constructions. I think.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if you.
Yeah. Yeah, like if.
Okay, so we do say please and thank you. I think this is the same for most countries. Yeah, it's pretty standard. How about,
So.
yeah, I hope so too. What do you think is a don't in Russian? What definitely you shouldn't do when you're communicating in Russian? For example, in some countries, it's really rude to do this, to put your thumb up. I don't know why, but you should.
Yeah, yes, in Arabic countries, I
Yeah,
think,
Arabic.
or something like that.
Yeah. Or maybe somebody else can join in and share maybe something that you shouldn't do when you're communicating in Russian. Maybe Oksana, do you have any ideas?
Let me think.
It's a tricky one. I'll let you guys think for a minute. If anybody can think of something, just shout out and I'm gonna add it.
Actually, I've heard about really thing for me that that sometimes people invite you to do something to be polite. So you should wait them for 3 times to invite you, and only on the third time to say yes. Like for some people who just like, okay, would you like to come to my place and take a cup of tea? Then you just say no, I'm busy, and then you wait. If you have 2 more invitation, only then you should
Say yes. Wow. Okay,
but I don't believe that it's really in place in
I
every
think
culture in
that
Russia.
yeah, it can be used in some regions of Russia. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's not the main thing.
Boys, what do you think about this? Dennis, is that a thing? And not to accept an invitation until the third invite?
For me, it sounds a bit strange. So yes, I cannot agree with the statement. So I think it's it's something personal. It's not common for the Russian mentality. So, and maybe may I continue regarding this topic, do's and don'ts?
Yeah.
So I would just maybe say some words about business communication. So Russian do is if you receive an email during the working day, it's a good behavior if you answer this email the same working day. Because, for example, if you will not, if you don't do that, it could be treated as impolite behavior, and sometimes it's even unacceptable. And regarding Russian don'ts, it depends, but mostly if there is more or less friendly atmosphere in the company, it's not a good behavior when someone interrupts someone else during the conversation. So you can interrupt your colleague only maybe in some extreme cases, or if or if he's talking for a very, very long time in order just to save the time.
Okay, wow, great. That's really some good information. The email's very interesting. I think it's a very polite thing to try to answer as soon as possible. So that's a good one. Yeah. Next, Alex K, what could you say? A Russian do and a Russian don't.
Yeah, I have one thing to say.
Okay.
If you are Russian employee,
Okay.
and work for somebody, you shouldn't show your boss that you are smarter than he.
Why? What will happen to you?
Anything that your boss would like to do with you. At least he could fire you up.
Wow, they could fire you? Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's very interesting. So you shouldn't show your boss that you're smarter than them. So you have to be very careful, I think, in Russia. Okay.
Yeah.
very interesting. And how about a Russian don't? What can you say? Oh, guys, Daria's just joined the chat. So, hello, Daria.
Oh,
So we're
hi,
just
Daria.
talking a little bit about communication. So this conversation is all about being polite and etiquette. So the guys and girls are just giving me some Russian do's and Russian don'ts. So Alex, can you continue? Can you give me a Russian don't? What shouldn't I do in Russia? Alex, your microphone.
Hi, Alex, start.
Yeah, you can give me a
Need
don't.
here. Russian don't. It's bad. Rude words. Speak rude words.
Ah, okay. So speak rude words in conversation. Okay, that's a good one. Daria, how about you? Could you, firstly, could you give a very small introduction about yourself to everybody? Where are you from? What do you do?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Daria. I live in Sochi, Krasnaya Polyana. I really enjoy mountains, and I don't snowboard. I don't ski. I just live among mountains and enjoy nature around. Yeah, that's it about me.
Okay, perfect. Nice. So, Daria, maybe you can add to the list. So the guys and girls have said a few things about what you should do when you're communicating in Russian. Can you add anything?
Like what we usually do, or like what we should do?
So like, what you should do to be polite. For example, Dennis told me that you should try to answer an email on the same day in Russia. It's impolite if you leave it for days and days. And then somebody else told me that you shouldn't interrupt another person when you're talking if you're amongst friends because it's rude. Are there any other like traditional things that you should do when you're speaking to somebody in Russia?
When you talk to a person, you should look into this person's eyes and don't use the phone while you're talking.
Yeah. In the UK,
Smile.
a smile. Oh, really? And smile?
Well, it's just better if you smile.
Okay, yeah, so it depends. All right. And how about a Russian don't? What shouldn't you do in Russia when you're talking?
When you're talking,
Yeah, for example, something I'd like to really try to avoid using bad words.
it depends on who you are talking to, actually.
Oh, okay. If you're talking to your boss?
You should smile.
Okay. Have I missed anybody out? I think, one second. Oksana, could you think of another don't that you shouldn't do in Russian?
Don't
Yeah,
use the
sure.
phone.
Oh,
Don't
Oh.
use the phone while you're like talking to somebody.
Don't use the phone. Yeah, that's a good one.
but people do it all the time. Actually, I remember one thing. You shouldn't your legs on the table or chair. It's slightly oldish rule, but some people still believe that it's like
Yeah. Okay. So not to put your feet up when you're talking and not to put your feet everywhere when you're speaking to people. Okay, very interesting. So the reason why we did this exercise is because obviously there are different things that you should do in different countries. So now I want you guys to think of a question and ask me. So you can ask me about communication in the UK. So for example, somebody mentioned earlier that is it true that English people have to be so polite? So if you can think of a question about some etiquette that you want to ask me, I will try to answer your question about English etiquette. Maybe Varia, maybe you can start.
Yeah, I'm interested in this polite constructions in real, just not the big conversation, the official conversation with your boss or with your top managers, but with the colleagues in your room, for example. I don't know if you really use this polite constructions every day, every moment?
Yeah, good question. To be honest with you, there are different levels. So, for example, if you're speaking to your friend or a colleague, it's perfectly normal to say, could you pass me the glass, please? Instead of saying, pass me the glass, you always should say, could you? So, whenever you would like somebody to do a job for you or a favor, you should always ask, could you? The only difference is when there's a child. So if there's a child and you want them to do something, then you can say, go and pick up your toys or go and do this. It's not expected that you say please or thank you to children, but of course it helps if you want them to do a job. So yeah, that's the only difference.
Isn't it slightly impolite to children?
The children, yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, but usually adults are speaking more polite to one another than to the children in the UK. I don't know about Russia, but in the UK, definitely. We're not mean to them, we're not horrible, but we give more respect to the adults. That's usually how it goes. So yeah, interesting question. Oksana, how about you? Do you have any questions about etiquette?
Yeah, I'm always wondering, is it really okay to use all these sentences like, would you please, or do me a favor? Because, or am I sound, might I be sound, sound like, if I sound just like outdated,
Yeah, or
using all this.
you can say, might I sound too much? No, absolutely not. We use it all the time. Even in my family, I would say to my mom, could you please pass me this? Could you please? It's just inside the culture. It's really in the language. If I said to my brother, pass me that, he would make a joke about how direct it is. So yeah, it's not old-fashioned. It's really the language. So yeah, good question. Dennis, how about you? Do you have a question?
Yes, I would like to ask the question about the small talks. Is it really a tradition that each conversation, no matter between the friends or between colleagues, should be started with some small talk, with talking about the weather and something like this?
Yes, I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, it's really boring. And maybe you guys know this word, cringe. It's really cringe,
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Actually, I have to something. I just recently visited San Francisco, and everybody literally starting conversation with small talk. I mean,
Yeah.
shop owner, taxi driver, everybody. And
Yeah.
I was just struggling with my English.
Yeah, it's exhausting. I have to say that the Americans do it even more than the British. So British people will speak to you, but American people will start small talk by giving you a compliment like, "Oh my God, you look amazing," even if it's a stranger. So that's the difference. Yeah, good question, Dennis. Yeah, and if you're in the UK, it's always about the weather. So it's absolutely fine to speak to a stranger and say, "Oh, isn't the weather nice?" And they will always respond to you. Yeah, it's a good one. Daria, how about you? You got a question? No, no questions. Who's next? Oh, Alex Art. How about you?
I don't speak about this,
Okay.
but
No.
very, very small
Yeah, okay.
words.
Yeah, Alex K, how about you? Do you have a question? Oh, your microphone, Alex.
Sorry.
Okay.
What should you say to Englishman to force him to try to fight with you?
To fight with you?
Yeah.
Maybe say something. Maybe say something about his wife, that his wife is ugly, maybe.
Okay. I will
What?
remember.
Why are you asking? Do you want to fight with
Just
an Englishman?
interesting. No.
Or maybe
Just interesting. How rude should I be to
okay.
offend somebody?
Well, actually, we have this issue at the moment in the UK about wokeism. I don't know if anybody's heard about this. when people are woke. Have you heard about this, Alex?
No.
So when somebody is woke, it means that they are very aware of their surroundings, and they are defending gay people, black people, all different kinds of people, but sometimes it's too much, and you can easily offend people. Very young generations, it's very easy to offend them. So actually, I don't think you will have much problem fighting with people in England. So I think you'll be okay if that's your plan. Yeah. Okay, guys. So we're gonna go to the next one.
So sorry, can I ask one more question if
Yeah,
possible?
sure. Yeah.
And are there any totally prohibited topics in conversation even between friends in UK? For example, in southern Italy, you should not discuss mafia at all because they, for example, consider this topic as offensive to them because everybody knows that there are a lot of mafia clans in southern Italy. There were a lot of mafia clans in southern Italy, and when you are talking about that, you are offending them, offending their country. So are there such similar prohibited topics, very sensitive topics in UK, even in conversation among the friends?
No, you can talk about absolutely anything. You can talk about anything you want. Of course, be careful if you're speaking about somebody and they can hear you, of course, but no, in the UK you can talk about politics, culture, religion, sexuality, anything. It's absolutely fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Good.
Christine.
Okay, so now Dennis asked me the question, what is prohibited about talking about in the UK? So now I'm going to ask you guys, what is prohibited to talk about in your country? And also, what have you discovered is prohibited of talking about in other countries? For example, if you have lived in Spain or maybe you've lived in China, what were you not allowed to talk about? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put people into breakout rooms so that you guys can talk a little bit more. So I'm going to put, 1 second. I'm going to put Alex in room 2 and Oksana and Alex. So I'm going to move you guys there. Okay. So you guys should see that. Can you see those breakout rooms?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys can join those. And then who are we left with? Dennis, Oksana, and Darren. Okay. So there's just us 3. All right, guys. 1 second. Oksana, is it just me and you? Oh, your microphone. Oh, can you hear me? Oh, where am I gone? Okay. What's going on? Where am I?
Excited. They're definitely excited. Hi,
Hi.
Rachel.
Yeah, hi, Rachel. Are you just checking on us?
Yeah, I'm gonna come and join your chat. I put everyone in different rooms and then I couldn't find everyone.
Okay.
Well, I can
That's a
actually
good
start
idea.
the topic that you gave us talk about. I lived in China, and there are a lot of actual topics they shouldn't talk about. Well, the main topic is about death.
Wow.
No
Oh.
way you can talk about it. Even they have the number 4. It's pronounced like 4. in Chinese, and si also sounds quite similar to the word death. And so that's why they just skip this letter. For example, they have numbers of rooms like 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So they just skip the number because it sounds like death.
Wow.
And nothing you can tell about death. Yeah, it's just like this. And even I was talking to a Chinese lady, she was my colleague, we worked together, and I said, oh, but this like death, I said this in English, death, and said, no, don't talk about this. I was like, why? Oh, why? Like this. But it's really, so that is what they really don't talk about.
Well,
And the second point is politics. They don't really talk about politics, and it's kind of prohibited. So I tried to ask something, what is your attitude to Russia, to some political stuff, but she said, let's not talk about this. I was like, oh, that's so boring. So
Okay.
yeah, two topics, death and politics.
Wow. Okay. Oksana, I'm sorry. I moved you into this group because you can speak more in this one because there's two people.
okay.
So Daria just told me she lived in China and she couldn't talk about death. Absolutely not. Which is crazy. Yeah, that's mad.
Death?
Death,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, probably.
But if they have funeral,
I didn't have this experience. I had an experience with number 4 because it sounds like death in Chinese, like
Yeah.
but different tones. So that's why
Sorry
they
about
skip
that.
this number because it sounds like death in Chinese, and they don't really talk about it.
So if you're
Oh.
4 years old, how do you say I'm 4?
I'm 3 plus
You're a
1.
kid and you don't have, I think, this.
1 past 3.
Yeah, I'm dead. Hello, I'm dead.
I'm about to turn
I'm
the number after
one-
3.
I'm 1 year to 5.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oksana, how about you? Have you ever been in a country where it was prohibited to talk about something? Oh,
I visited some parts of Turkey,
mm.
and I just had no chance to speak with men because it's prohibited for men to speak with women. It was Kurdish region. We just made a trip with bicycles, and when I went for one, and actually villages feels empty because there are no women on the street. Sometimes you see somebody sitting on their how to say near their front door, but only in the evening, only very old lady covered with black. And so once I encountered one man, I asked him for water. And he just didn't answer what I did because
Wow.
he just went somewhere. Actually, I believe he asked some old lady to help me because he just it he isn't obliged to
Yeah.
speak with women.
Wow. So he was really scared that you were speaking to him.
I believe he might be differently outside the village, but we was inside. He might be watched by his neighbors.
Okay. Wow. It's strange, yeah, because in Russia, men and women speak to one another. So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Dennis, how about you? Have you had such experience?
Yes, I have such an experience. I mentioned something previously about that. I would like to maybe tell some words about Italy and about Armenia. So the first country I visited a lot of times. I have never lived there for a long time, but I visited Italy as a tourist about more than 10 times. So in the south of the country is not homogeneous, so the south, the center, and the north are absolutely different, and sometimes even the dialects are so different that they translate films that are produced in the north to the people who are living in the south. But so for the southern people, especially for Sicily, there is one point, as I already mentioned, that they don't want to discuss. It's everything about mafia, because even now though state is struggling with that, with some maybe some degree of success, still in Sicily, this is just the part of their life, and that's why they treat some attacks to mafia as something offensive. But
Yeah.
for the northern Italy, it's absolutely okay to discuss that. And Daria mentioned about the politics. Italians are fond of talking about the politics because I don't know why, but there is one of the main topics. There are two main topics in Italy. The three. First one is food, second one is fashion, and the third one is politics. So yes, and it's just a common thing. And in Armenia, there are some peculiarities related to their history. So they have some great degree of tension between Armenia and Turkey and between Armenia and Azerbaijan during. So there are a lot of wars. There was an invasion of Armenia by Turkey. A lot of monuments, historical monuments, Armenian monuments are situated now in the territory of Turkey. So when someone is telling about Turkey with how to say with excitement, so how he or she loves Turkey or Azerbaijan, this could be treated as something offensive by local people in Armenia.
Wow.
So that's the second point.
It's very interesting. Different countries speak about different things.
Yes.
I'm going to go into the other room and check on the other guys. Now I want you guys to carry on the conversation. So Daria, starting with you again. Now I want you to think about the differences between Russia and other countries. What do you think are the main differences in communication, for example, between Russia and China? And then Oksana, maybe between Russia and Turkey. And then Dennis, your experiences with Russia, the differences between Russia and Italy. So you guys have a chat about that. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to go see the other guys. Okay.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello again.
You guys, I've come to see you. I was with a group. So how is everything going in this chat? Everybody's still speaking?
Yeah, sure.
We wonder where those people that we had previously, where they are. We discussing.
Yeah, I know
that could say that they could say something wrong and
somebody so they leave.
Keep them out.
No, as they say in Russia, ruka job, like my hand. So yes. I'm not very technical, so I made a mistake. But anyway,
do you have such a word in English?
No.
Like,
yeah, you have. You remember this hand
clumsy.
Yeah, clumsy.
Yeah, but it's not funny. It's just a normal word. But ruka job, it's very funny.
But it's maybe ars handy.
No, if you say if you say that, it means that you're playing with your ass. It's very bad. Yeah, so don't say that, Alex. Prosta akuratna. Yeah. So in any case, what did you guys talk about? What did you say, Varia? What did you say things that you couldn't talk about in Spain?
I'm talking about this rules in Spain that I know that they exist, but I think that when you're I don't know, you're talking with some guys, you don't use it actually, and you speak about politics and I don't know, racism or sex, or I think maybe gender too, or maybe about religion, but I don't think that this topic is interesting.
So it's not offensive, but people don't
find. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe if you're rude, really, and you're starting to speak with stranger Spaniards about, I don't know, I hate this. I don't know, your king in Spain. Maybe it's rude enough. Yeah. But if you are, I don't know, just asking, for example, like, I don't know, that's something about politics. How do you live in a socialistic country? I don't know. It's interesting. It's okay.
Yeah, it's not so bad. Okay, Alex Art, how about you? If I go to Russia, what can I not speak about in Russia?
Oh, it was very hard. all lessons. It's first time for me.
It's okay. It's молодец.
My
Doing really
head.
well. Yeah. It's difficult. Yeah. So
Yes, very difficult. Very.
it's okay. Maybe next time just have more practice. Maybe it's okay. Don't worry. But the question to you, in Russia, if I go to Russia, can I talk about politics? Can I talk about religion? Is it okay in Russia to talk about these things?
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Somebody won't say to me, Rachel, no, stop talking. It's okay. I can talk about
I
it.
would say you shouldn't discuss topics
Okay.
in Russia.
Okay.
Just not so safe for anybody.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, it's like always the context matter. Like, what do you asking? What do you telling? I don't know. It's like you can discuss religion, for example, like I don't know, like history of religion, yeah, or like the situation in Russia. How, for example, how many religions there are in Russia. But if you I don't know, if you ask me am I don't know, am I a religious person, or do I go in the church? I don't know, it's not a good question.
Okay. And Alex, are you still in Russia? I forgot to ask you.
No, I'm outside.
You're outside. Where are you? Are you in Europe?
Montenegro.
Oh, you said, yeah, sorry.
Yes,
Montenegro.
yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Yet
so very
maybe I
yeah.
will move somewhere to Europe or
Yeah.
maybe
Okay. And
Uruguay. We'll see.
And how about in Montenegro? I've never been. Is it okay? Is it freedom of speech in Montenegro or not so much?
Yeah, you could speak anything here. You could say anything here.
Okay.
They are nice people, and they, how to say, they grow their children in a freedom in their minds. They teach people that they teach children that they could choose their own, raise their children. Yes, that they could choose their own ways.
Yeah, very interesting. Okay, guys, I'm going to move everybody back to the main room and we can wrap up and yeah, we can talk about what we did. So I'm going to move you back. Right. Okay. I think that should work. Okay. Okay, good. So we'll just wait for the others to join us. So Daria and Dennis. Okay. Wow, very very interesting topic that we had today. So we talked a lot about different things and different aspects of different countries. So it wasn't a very long chat today, so it was only an hour, but I hope you guys had chance to get a little bit of English practice and speak to one another. So Oksana has told me that she has some speaking groups. So I'm just going to share this with you because she wants me to share this with you. So I hope everybody can see. Right. So this is what she's asked me to share with you guys. If you guys are interested in groups, I will share this recording in the group with you guys after. Daria and Dennis, I think I can add you to the group so you can have this recording and you can have this page. So yeah, Oksana's asked me to share this with you. Varia, you're already in one of the groups, right? Yeah, so Varia and I have had lessons before and it's been quite nice. So if it's something you guys want to do, then you can, you're more than welcome. And as for me, I do lessons too, but I just do one-to-one sessions at the moment. So I'm not teaching groups just yet. So yeah, well. Anyway, it was really nice to see you all again. We'll have another chat in January, and there might be more people in the next group, so that's going to be really nice, and we'll have more breakout rooms. So yeah, it was really nice to see you, and I wish you all a really nice new year. So
Thank you.
you're
Merry
welcome.
Christmas and
you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, guys. С Новым годом.
Great
That's it,
holidays.
right?
Новым годом, yes.
Наступающим.
Годом. Okay, guys. See you. See you in January.
Thanks a
Thank you.
lot.
Thank you,
you.
See
Rachel.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you.